This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And the next time you're going to Walt Disney World and perhaps you're looking at, you just heard Monday's show and said, Food and Wine Festival. That sounds mighty tempting. I've never been there before. Well, Annette Owens, you can go to to Food and Wine Festival. In fact, you can go to Walt Disney World anytime. And the travel agents at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can help you plan that next trip over there. Becky and her agents can help you plan that perfect trip, be it your first time for Food and Wine, perhaps WWTA reunion in December, 10 Fest in March, or maybe you're sick of us and actually just want to have a vacation alone, in which case they can help you out as well. Visit them online at www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, October 7th, 2009, and this is episode 627 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of The Initial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome back, Len.
Thanks, Matt. I think I pulled a shoulder muscle there when I'm hosting the Monday's episode. I have to rehab it now.
I heard lots of great feedback on the episode, Len. You did a great job.
Tell my mom I said thanks.
Will do. Also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. And Mike.
And Len.
Yeah,
and
Len.
Mike.
Mike,
Yes.
it's from what I hear, it's fun to be free,
To be on the move
to go anywhere.
with ever care to do all there is to be. All right, stop. Enough.
Also joining us on today's show is the fabulous Annette Owens, a manager of customer relations and group services for MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. How are you, Annette?
Hey, much better now that I wasn't forgotten in the intro. Thanks.
Well, I'm hoping that one of those travel agents can help you plan your first trip. Also,
I have to have special permission to get out of the office, I think.
It's Wednesday, and we're answering your listener questions. And we're going to start with a question from Paul Thorpe, who writes, guys, thanks for your work. I've bought some shirts for my trip soon, which I hope to contribute in some way. I also have some more questions. Have any podcasts actually been recorded when under the influence? I know you guys joke about it, but I'm sure in one of the old ones, Len was actually in the middle of some merriment. I don't think any of us would have failed a DUI test.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the occasional
episodes. We've had some drinks. I mean, Newell during the
What?
European. Newell, no, not you.
You get pulled out.
Yeah, right. What's that?
During the European live show.
That's funny. Newell gets pulled out.
Yeah, thanks.
During the European live show, we had some European beers to consume during the show.
I didn't drink alcohol during the Sip, Snack, and Sick
Really?
episode. Yeah, no, I didn't drink anything then. But yeah, I mean, I've had the
Yeah,
occasional.
because you got the wrong peach tea. That was why.
That's what it was, exactly.
That
Yeah.
turned us
It
all
was-
off for liquids the whole day.
Yeah, I've had the occasional. I think when I actually say I'm drinking tequila, I probably am drinking tequila on the show.
Paul writes. He mentions it's Paul Thorpedo on the website from Ospool in the glorious northwest of England. I've now named my village instead of the nearest town of significance. Part of the fun is hearing Matt pronounce places he's never heard of.
Even the ones he has heard of, he has trouble
Yeah.
with.
That's true. Next email is from Becky, who was born and raised in Southern California, now in grad school at the University of Florida. Right, so I'm new to the podcast and have been feverishly trying to catch up for the last few weeks. I just wanted to tell you guys that my fiance and I went to Animal Kingdom, I know, temporarily lapsed insanity, back in April and tried to switch our annual passes. It did not work and we had to switch back. It was really slow. And this is she's mentioning the biometric tests, so they try to switch their
Oh,
walk-around
okay.
passes.
Awesome.
It did not work, and we had to switch back. It was really slow, and many of the turnstiles had nobody going through them, so maybe that was why. Or maybe Animal Kingdom is just weird. Love the podcast. It's so nice to hear people that are obsessed with it as I am.
I think during busier times of the year, they completely turn off the biometrics, like during Easter, for example, and Christmas.
Yeah, it's weird because, I go to the studios every week, Len, and I find there's some weeks where they have it off, to kind of, I think they just, I don't know what there doesn't seem to be a rationale to it, but I agree with you during definitely the busier times they try to, keep the lines moving. But there are other times where the line will go really long and they'll be running it, so.
That's
Not
strange.
sure. Yeah. The next email is from Blackjack Joe, who writes, "Hi, Matt, Len, Mike, and Annette, if she's there. This is Blackjack Joe from Mountain View, California. I'm listening to the podcast of the live show number 31 from the end of March, and a caller had asked about using PhotoPass from Walt Disney World and Disneyland and getting a single PhotoPass CD. I've done this combining MouseFest and New Year's Eve's at Disneyland Pictures onto a single CD. As long as 2 trips are close enough that you don't lose the pictures from the first trip, the second trip, you can do that as well.
Okay. Forgot to mention that close enough thing. Oh, excellent.
Cool. Next email is from Choi from New York, who writes, "Hi, guys, plus anyone fabulous." I guess that's a net.
I like
guess.
that.
Awesome.
I'm really
So much better than if she's not there, or if she's there.
If she's there. I'm really disappointed at the holiday pricing at BOMA. Paying something like $5 more per adult and $3 more per child pushed the price of dinner for 2 kids and 2 adults to over $100 with the Tables in Wonderland discount.
Wow.
It would be something like over $120 without the discount. Now, I understand holiday specials, but almost all other restaurants that I know would offer something special for higher holiday prices. Instead, we got much less. The roasted meats were reduced from prime rib, and roasted pork loin to a stringier, chewier beef loin and pork sausages. The fresh fruit selection was lacking, bananas and apples primarily, no melons or berries, and the desserts were not as exciting. Even the zebra domes seemed wan and almost melting. I've canceled all my other buffets for this trip. By the way, the Kona Cafe dinner was much nicer and at less than $70, a much better value.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Kona Cafe seems to be a hidden gem.
Yeah, it's really a great place to go to.
Yeah,
Probably not anymore now that we just mentioned
Yeah.
it. But.
but no one go there. It's keep
Yeah.
it yourselves.
I agree with Troy on this one. I don't understand why they charge. I guess I understand why they charge more, but it's annoying that they charge more during the prime times. That's obviously we're going to bring in the most amount of people over there. And it just seems like just a plain money grab. So
It is.
It's too bad that they have to resort to those kind of tactics, but can't say I fault you there, Troy. Next email is from George Long of Boston, Massachusetts. Who writes, "Hello, lady, if there, and gents, if there." Well, Scope is not here, so
No.
but the lady is.
Yep.
I was wondering. I was talking about Newell, but okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'll get you.
I was wondering where I can find a list of attractions of when they had been updated. Say, the Epcot China film to the most recent Pirates of the Caribbean edition of Jack Sparrow to the most newest edition, say, Everest and Toy Story Midway Mania. I have been to Walt Disney World in 5 years and would like to see if there is such a list and go to those first and avoid the Epcot Norway film if it's still there playing the same film 5 years ago.
It is.
Yeah,
Glenn, do you know of any lists like that?
No, I can't think of. Disney might keep it on Disney's website, but if not, what might work is Wikipedia. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a list of refurbishments on there. But
Right.
It's worth a shot.
Interesting.
Yeah, thanks.
Next email is from Mike from Illinois, who writes, I just got back from a week-long trip to Walt Disney World with 3 of our family members, ages 50, 9, and 13. I guess he went with Scopa.
Wow, really?
Let me just say the unofficial guide, the unofficial guide, the unofficial guide, the unofficial guide, the unofficial guide. Listen to the Bell Gross bar, Testa. It tolls for thee. The book was great and very helpful, as was this podcast. I've been listening to your show for the past 9 to 12 months now and have learned a lot about planning and preparing for our trip. Although the crowd calendar said 10 for almost all the days we were there, thanks to the book and the podcast, we were able to maximize our time there by following your advice and applying the touring plans. We went on 436 rides and attractions for the week and walked 69.3 miles according to our pedometers.
Wow.
Rope drops were intense, but got us on Toy Story Midway Mania and Everest twice early in the morning by fast passing them and then riding them right away. We would have been able to do Toy Story twice another day, but our bus from the resort to the Hollywood Studios was late and messed up our arrival time, despite leaving 15 minutes before the open of the park. We had a Mears float bus. I've never seen a Mears bus do a resort pickup before.
Yeah, that's weird.
By using the touring plans and Fast Pass, we waited for Tower of Terror for 50 minutes once. All other rides, we waited less than 30 minutes. The Len Testa Memorial Shortcut to Splash Mountain was a great find, too. Should it be an honorable shortcuts? Or not a memorial? What's the opposite of memorial when someone's still alive?
Memorials when they're dead. So what is it? Yeah,
I don't know. I forget what it is, but whatever. He's not dead yet. It's like a
roast.
No.
I was going to say the
Holy Grail?
Monty Python. Yeah, Holy Grail. I'm
not dead yet.
I think the only thing we would do different would be not to use the counter service dining plan. It was much too much food for our group. We wouldn't have eaten desserts every day, and we didn't and we wouldn't have eaten as many snacks, but it was convenient. All in all, we had a great trip. Thanks for your help.
So even the counter service plan is too much food.
Yeah, because I agree. The desserts, no one eats the desserts. No one orders the desserts on their own, especially not like every day, maybe once. And I don't think any of the desserts are really that good. So I would prefer, I mean, they don't really have appetizers at
Counter service?
counter service, but it'd be nice if you could at least extend them to the sides, because a lot of times they do have like, a side of something that you could do. And I'd much rather have one of those than
Fruits and berries?
yeah. A lot of there are a lot of places where the desserts are just like, oof, you got to pick something, and it's it's just going in the trash after a bite. Mike adds, are you aware that Buddy Boyle from Monsters Laugh Floor sounds a little like Mr. Scopa? Just wondering. I gotta listen to him again.
I think Noel's gonna have to come up with something here.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
Buddy Boyle, that's awesome.
Next email is from Rory from Louisiana, who writes, I'm a regular listener to the show, and I will be heading to the world soon.
Welcome back.
I was wondering, what time do they start giving out fast passes? Is it at rope drop first thing in the morning, or do they start a bit later?
Giving out? No, they'll start as soon as the park opens.
Yep.
The return time, though, is typically anywhere from 35 minutes from the time the park opens to 10 a.m.
Yeah, somewhere in them between.
Yeah, somewhere in there, right.
Next email is from Joe Grandolfo, who writes, greetings all. I've been listening to Only for the past few months, but I just discovered WDW today. Just can't get enough. I download as many as my iPhone can hold. Great information. Also ran out and got unofficial guide.
Thanks.
Ding.
Hope this gets to the panel before my family goes to our trip later. No, it didn't.
Oh my God.
My
Wow.
wife and I were wondering who has the best maps of the park and if we can get them before we go. Have been looking at the maps online, but they just don't give as much detail and don't print out very well.
I think we answered this a while back, but eBay, people will sell you all 4 park maps for like $5 on eBay.
Yeah. They do have, Disney does offer for free these, like, they're not the park maps you get in the, what is it?
They're printable maps.
Yeah, it's not the same, but it takes a
Doesn't
long
print
time.
as well.
It doesn't. Yeah, and you can customize them, but it takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
And so I like the getting the actual park maps from the resorts on eBay. I think is the best option.
Sure. It's a good idea.
Thank you.
Next email is from Alex from Germany, also known as Van Halen, Hail.
Awesome.
On some Disney websites. Love the podcast. Actually bought a 120 gigabyte iPod specifically because my old 2 gigabyte MP3 player was just too small to handle 500 plus episodes of WDW Today, and I got tired of always switching episodes around. I apologize. This email will come a bit long-winded, but I've been known to ramble.
There's a couple that were missing. Maybe he's got them. He could send them our way.
Well, you know what, Newell? Apple owes us a few dollars for sending some business their way, I think.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
Small referral fee. That's all I'm saying.
Consulting fee, right, Newell?
That's right.
Pay me. Anyway, Alex writes, first of all, I got to agree with the senior feature and writer. Senior of allears.net, Mr. Scopa, on the long-standing debate about bringing young children to Disney World. My parents took me to Disneyland when I was about 2 years old and haven't gone to any Disney park since. Needless to say,
So I was gonna say, and it scarred them for life.
I don't remember anything about the trip, and now, at 21 years old, have to find a way to get to the world myself, which means I likely won't get there until 2020 or so. That stinks.
Arg.
Second, I purchased the unofficial guide.
Ding.
Get a lot of dings out of this one today.
Yeah.
Writes lately, and while I enjoyed reading it, I was quite intimidated when I finished it. I thought, great, if I go there, I will spend tons and tons of money on a bad room with a view of some parking lot with a noisy truck outside, including a truck driver picking his nose. I won't be able to eat anything on my trip unless I settle for a week of turkey legs. My airline will likely lose my luggage, and I shouldn't even think about using Disney transportation. Wow. Len, you should put that in the back of the book.
The last part was right there, though, but the okay, so the room will be there. No, so we have strategies for avoiding all those problems, and I think that's what the point of putting those things in the book is to know that there are pitfalls out there, that they happen more frequently than you think, and there are ways around them.
I perfectly said, Len. I think that's the point of the book, certainly, and something that we like to do on this show is point out where the things to avoid, and also highlight the things that you should definitely go check out, so that way you don't have any of those things that you mentioned there, Alex. Right. Finally, I wanted to ask if Len has ever thought about a Thunder in Paradise touring plan for Walt Disney World. I know that I know that the northern Tunisia parts are filmed in the Morocco Pavilion World Showcase, and the hotel is in the Grand Floridian, right? But what about the rest? Are some of the places even still around today? I think it would be fun touring. It would be a fun touring plan to read and maybe even follow someday.
That's right, brother.
They used to film Thunder in Paradise at the studios.
Yes, they did. My favorite episode was when they had this supposedly quote unquote undersea jail, and they used the living seas as the undersea jail, and the hydrolators were actually the jail cells that had these laser beams as bars. It was quite amusing.
I wonder if it's on YouTube or something like that.
I've got every episode on tape because that's how bad I am.
Thunder in
You
Paradise.
have every episode of Thunder in Paradise.
Heck
on
yeah.
tape.
That was one of the best, worst shows ever made. It's so funny to watch. It is so good. It's so bad.
I'm gonna have to look for it on iTunes now.
Wow. Well, I learned something about Mike Newell today. I thought I knew a lot about you, Mike, but
Hey, there's plenty you don't.
Wow.
next email is from Greg Monroe of Lexington, Kentucky, who writes, my name is Greg, and my family and I are going to Walt Disney World in 93 days, which of course means, Newell,
He's back already.
Welcome back.
welcome back. I'm trying to get my family into the planning stage, but I have a question. Why does the Disney World website only show the extra magic hours and hours of operation 60 days out when you have to make ADRs 90 days out? It would seem a whole lot easier if they were both the same, or have the daily schedule posted 120 days out. I look forward to hearing from you. I love the show. It is my day off routine to catch up on all the episodes that I've missed.
Thank you.
I think they have January hours out now, so October,
Yeah.
November, December,
It's
January.
usually about 3 months out now.
It's about
but,
3.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
but
one
there
thing I will
was a
say-
time there it wasn't.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is, yeah, right. So but have you noticed speaking of the drinking thing, have you noticed that the international websites, so like the Canadian, the French, the Great Britain versions of the Disney website, they're no longer updating the park hours on those.
Really?
Yeah, they stopped in November. Yeah, they don't go out past November.
That's interesting. I will mention, though, I mean, of course, the ADR window is going to go up to 180 days at the end of this month, in October 27th.
Right, on the 27th, right.
So it'll be interesting to see if they do bump up the park hours. I doubt it, but it'll be interesting to see if they do that.
They're going to have to. How else are you going to make reservations?
Well,
You're not going to know. Yeah.
Yeah, for years they didn't do that, though. Like, just like
But they didn't have they didn't have it 180 days.
That's true.
They switched, but both of them have to go in lock sync,
Yeah.
lock step.
One would think.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
pretty sure.
Next email is from Rick Shear of Westchester, Ohio. He writes, I was surprised that you guys, regarding episode 551, I was surprised that you guys left out what I think is a huge pre-trip planning tip. I always check out my crowd calendars to determine which parks will be the best to visit on any given day. Additionally, that will usually determine where it is best to make my dining reservations for, as to which park I plan to be in on a given day, as I, of course, prefer to be in the least crowded parks.
You know, it's funny. We heard from Disney cast members, the ones who work in sit-down restaurants, that they actually use the crowd calendar to figure out what parks to work in and what restaurants to work in, and they can do schedule shifts to go where the crowds are.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Smart.
really, that's like that. There's some thinking going on there. That's
Yep.
great.
Next email is from Rita Conlon of Shelton, Connecticut. Writes, I'll be vacationing at Walt Disney World for free dining. Oh, Newell.
Welcome back.
Soon.
Thank you. I'm traveling with my 12-year-old daughter and her 12-year-old friend and the friend's mother. We are staying at, well, still free dining is close enough. We're staying at Scopa Towers in separate rooms, which means we have separate reservations. My question is, when the four of us go out to dinner together, will we be able to get separate checks since we both will have to deduct 2 credits for the dining plan?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No problem at all.
Love the show. My daughter and I listen in the car. You guys are a wealth of knowledge and influenced my decision to buy the unofficial guide this year.
Thank you.
Good
we
night.
we need to do Len's contract again after this episode.
I
because,
guess
Really
so.
serious.
I think so.
You ever wonder though how much spending we influence in Walt Disney World? Like how many people take our advice and pick a hotel or a restaurant or certain tickets or
Stay
I
away
wonder
from
about that.
China.
Stay away from China.
China.
Exactly.
That's right. We single-handedly have killed China. We invented it. Next email is from Robbie Pooley and family of Montgomery, Alabama. Writes, my family and I will be taking our annual trek, 8 and counting, to the world soon.
Soon.
And we're taking full advantage of the Oh man,
It's like summer reruns on these questions here.
It's yeah.
Oof. All right. Anyway, skipping these parts, we're staying at the boardwalk, and since we have some extra days on our hands, and my sister and her family to love to watch, my sister and her family to watch the 2 and 9-year-old, the wife and I are going to do the Segway tour at Epcot's World Showcase. What information can you give us on specifics about this? Well, we talked about this episode
couple shows ago. Yeah, it's fabulous.
Yeah, and they've already had the adventure, so
yeah, they've already been. But go back and listen because it was really good.
Robbie also mentions, Len, this section of the guide, pages 628 to 629, is woefully short in details.
I think I updated it in the 2010 edition.
So Robbie got to go out and buy a new one. Also, we've stayed at almost every hotel except the boardwalk. Any room hints for this particular hotel? I understand there's a section of rooms that face Epcot and you can see illuminations, at least the fireworks. Thanks in advance, and I look forward to hearing your answers after we get back. Okay, well,
Good.
Wow, that's prescient there. So there are rooms. The thing when we're going to talk about room views, I think on Friday's show,
right.
The thing with water view rooms, the ones that overlook Epcot in the boardwalk, is that they're exposed to boat noise from the lake, from Crescent Lake, and that tends to be a bit much if you're there during the day, like if you're trying to take a nap.
Yeah,
it's fabulous. Yeah,
I've stayed at the boardwalk twice. One time, I think I literally stayed at the studios. It was that far away. And then the other time, to your point, Len, about the boat noise, I actually had one that faced the lagoon, which was great. But then we were woken in the morning at like 6 a.m. because some seagulls had perched outside of our window because they're so active over there. Yeah, exactly.
Fine.
So I've had 2 not so great rooms over there, unfortunately.
You had a great view of the Tower of Terror. I've had that room.
Any particular areas that you recommend, Len or Annette? I know that you both stay there considerably.
Boardwalk. No, I can't think of anything.
Annette, do you have any suggestions?
He just jumped over Len.
Just jumped over Len. I think we should go back to Len because
He said no, we didn't have any.
No, I mean other than the water view rooms are the ones that are most popular, but I think they're noisy. So the garden view rooms are fine. To me, the water view rooms aren't worth the money.
Okay.
At Boardwalk, yeah.
when there can be a lot of noise from the boardwalk itself.
That's true too.
Depending on when, if you've got young kids, you're putting to bed early at night.
Yeah.
It can be a little loud.
Next email is from Sean Neva, who writes, this is Sean from Dallas, Texas. Yes, home of that joke of a team that makes more celebrity news these days than the actual plays any real football games. Oh, well, hey, they were great at one time. I have since become a Pittsburgh fan. Haha. Anyway, I've written both Len and Annette a few times and just wanted to say how great they are about getting back with you. I really appreciate it.
Nice.
You're
So
great.
in the back there,
You guys are
Len.
great.
Now on with the question. It's more of an opinion I would like to get from you guys. Have you heard about the new picnic deal they're doing in Animal Kingdom?
Yes.
What are your opinions of it? Do you guys think it's a good deal? My wife and I love roasted chicken, like from Boston Market, for instance, but at $50, it seems a bit steep. Then again, you are in Disney World, so I'm sure that this is coming into play. I'm just wondering if they had great views set up there where you can eat, or if it's just typical picnic benches thrown in somewhere. I'm also wondering how this could work on a dining plan and how many credits that would mean needing. As always, thanks for all you guys and ladies do. It always brings a smile to my face to download each show each week.
Thank you.
Len, what have you heard about the picnic thing there at Animal Kingdom?
So we've had a couple of researchers that have done it, and it's to Sean's point, it's fairly expensive. I think the variety of the food and the food quality is good. The things that we heard were that the drinks that you get, the bottles of water that you get, are relatively small. So I think it's the smaller bottles of water, not the normal size ones, and that can be not enough during summer. The other thing I heard was it's expensive, and finding seating sometimes is a challenge, especially if you're trying to eat when everyone else is eating.
Yeah, it'd be good to hear some feedback from some of our listeners. So if you have some feedback, we'll read it on the air if you've done the picnic thing. Let us know specifically if obviously you've done it. What you thought of it? Was it worth the money? And of course, how many tell us a little bit about the food and everything and how you like that. Next email is from Albert Thewitt of Nashville, Tennessee. He writes, "Hey guys and girl, still enjoying the podcast. You are all hilarious and very, very entertaining. Quick question. My wife and I have heard rumors for a while now that 2 attractions to Tomorrowland are going to be closed in the near future. They are the Carousel of Progress and the Tomorrowland Transit Authority. I know both of these attractions are dated, but our family still loves them, especially the TTA. And I know the carousel was one of Walt's favorites, right? I'm surprised they would get rid of these for his sake. Any word on whether this is true or just rumors?
Well,
the
TTA
one
was
about-
just refurbished and put back
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, so I don't think they've been doing minor enhancements to Carousel over the last couple of years too. I mean, making sure
Yeah.
that the carpets
yeah, new carpets,
done,
new
changing
seats.
out some of the scenery and stuff. So I don't think that there's a chance of that going either. The one thing I have heard though that I'm kind of speculating on, they had the old Skyway station right in Tomorrowland.
Right.
It's
And
gone.
they tore that down.
Right.
That's gone. Right. But now it's a flat roof. I'm betting that's where they're going to do the Wishes dessert party from now on.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. It's just think about it. It's a second floor. It'd be a great view.
Huh.
It's unobstructed.
It'd be interesting. I would. I'm not like you, Len. I'm not a fan of them charging for it, but then again, I'd prefer to have back the Tomorrowland Noodle Station Terrace over there
Exactly.
viewing.
exactly. So you'd be a little bit farther to the left there in terms of direction, but you'd also be elevated, so you'd get a better view, I think, of the fireworks. My guess is that's what they're going to do, because they're not putting a roof or anything else there. I think some tables and stuff, it'd be fine. My guess is that's what it's for.
Okay. Next email is from Keith, who writes, on episode 549, a listener was talking about doing all of Disneyland in a day. On Mice Age, I saw an article about the Gumball Rally, which aims to do the Disneyland Resort in a day. Apparently, someone did Disneyland a couple of years ago, and so they lifted the bar to include California Adventure. If your listener had a look at the Mice Chat forum, she might get some tips on how to complete her assignment. Unfortunately, it's only a few weeks' time, so by the time you read this out, the 2009 event will have been and gone, usually in May. So yes, it did. Usual thanks for keeping me entertained. And another UK listener, hope to be back in the world in summer 2010, probably August if the free dining for UK visitors is repeated.
Cool.
Thank you, Keith. Next email is from Susan from New Jersey, who writes, "Hi ho, friends. Recently, or maybe not, I received a phone call from a friend asking me if she should have made dining reservations for her first trip to Disney. She had planned a trip during Easter week and was leaving in 2 days. This call came only hours after listening to episode 547 about last-minute ADRs. Coincidence?
I think not.
Armed with the following information from your show and her reservation number, I was able to book the following ADRs for her family of 4. Tusker House. Good.
Wow.
I think we all like that. Whispering Canyon. Nice.
Okay. Yep.
Tony's Town Square.
Not bad.
Yeah, wow. Spoodles.
Really?
Beer Garden.
Excellent.
Restaurant Marrakesh.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah, not
It's
bad.
been strong there.
Yeah, not bad. Thanks for saving the day and for helping this family of first-timers have a fabulous vacation. Yous guys and gals are the best.
Hey, yo, thank you.
I wonder how her friend liked the reservations.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know.
Yeah, right back.
Next email is from Katie Smith of Utica, Michigan, who writes,
I believe it's Utica.
Love the show and so on. I was just wondering if you can offer any ideas about group activity.
Baruch activities.
We're singing now? What are we doing?
I don't know what.
Any ideas of group activities at Walt Disney World? I'm going down with my in-laws, husband, mom, best friend, nephew, and almost 2-year-old in January 2010. We would like to do something special for together, but budget is limited. We're trying to get everyone to do Hoop-Dee-Doo, but so far, not a lot of buy-in for that one.
Yeah,
How about the if Hoop-Dee-Doo's a great idea there, Katie, but if it's not going to work, it's not going to work.
it's
How about-
expensive.
yeah. How about the behind the scenes tour? It's cheap.
Yes, it's inexpensive, and it's only an hour. Everyone could do it. If that doesn't work, you could always do you should do like a self-guided walking tour. Just come up with or scavenger hunt. I mean, you can download scavenger hunt ideas online from almost anywhere, like in Epcot, in Future World. That'd be fabulous.
Yeah. Annette, any suggestions for groups that when you get I'm sure you get these kind of questions fairly often.
We get them a lot, and I think because of the different ages that you've got going, just sometimes it's good to separate a little bit as a group and then come back as a group. So plan those meals together so you can talk about what you've done during the day. But sometimes everybody might want to do a little. You have your person that wants to do Soarin' 12 times,
Yeah.
and you have your person that wants to do Mission Space. So you just got to kind of work with a group. Groups are kind of hard to function through Disney sometimes.
Next email is from Libby Goldberg of Springfield, Virginia, who writes, I will start off this email with the usual. I love the podcast, and I've been reading the unofficial guide for years, cover to cover.
Thanks.
I just love the funny insight and consider it my fun read. Anyways, on to my question. I read this morning that Disney is releasing The Princess and the Frog this November, featuring Tiana, the first African-American princess in a Disney film.
Yes.
The fact that Disney has never featured an African-American heroine is something that I've privately grumbled about for years, but what I find compelling is that the princess is seeking both a love and a career. I find that to be uniquely an American fairy tale. What do you all think of this new idea? I would love to hear your opinions of all of this.
I just saw the trailer this weekend. I went to see Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and they showed the trailer.
Does it
The
look
first, yeah, it actually does. I mean, the colors and the story look fantastic.
Annette, you were at D23. Were you able to? They had a sneak preview over there. Were you able to see that?
I was at a booth at D23.
You're actually working. You know,
I was working, so I have no.
Well, there were other people that went to D23. I know they spoke
Yeah.
to one of our listeners, Janine, and I know one of our other listeners, Sean, who we had on. Remember the Mike Sean, who runs the Disney Sean blog.
Right.
Very good read over there. You should check it out. And they both mentioned to me that they saw the preview at D23, and they both said that they looked really, really good. And of course, you know, Mike, Janine is not exactly one to get excited about anything.
Anything, yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, so hopefully, I'm hopeful that it's going to be really good. I think really Disney needs a big hit with the movie. Never mind the racial things, which I agree with you there, Libby. But the fact that like a Disney non-Pixar Disney film hasn't really done well in quite a number of years, like the animated one.
The other thing too, I mean, animated films. I mean, there's just so many animated films out at any given time that you know Disney has always said that you know story is the thing that drives drives good movies.
Yeah.
And it's true because everyone can do animation now. Everyone can do all of that stuff.
I mean, as far as the story and using the career thing, if it works, it works. Because Lord knows I didn't think a movie about an old geezer in a house was going to really do that well, but it ended up being a great movie. And you know, even just that first part where they, you know, well, I don't want to spoil the movie if you haven't seen it, but you know, that,
the opening few minutes.
The opening
is
few
really good.
minutes is you know, tugged right at your heart there. Next email is from Evan, who writes, Dear Matt, Mike, and Len, I'm going to Disney World this November over Thanksgiving and was wondering what kind of special stuff usually happens at this time of year. I also want to know how busy Thanksgiving typically is. Love the podcast. Thanks for reading my question.
Well, for Thanksgiving, they're typically celebrating Christmas, New Year's, President's Day, and getting ready for Easter, like going into Memorial Day.
St. Patty's.
Yeah, St. Patty's. Yeah. So so everything from Jolly Saint Nick to John Wayne storming the sands of Iwo Jima, I think, are fair game somewhere in there.
I do know, seriously, that they do have special menus.
You nudo? you nudo?
Menudo, actually. I was trying to say.
Menudo.
Yeah, go ahead.
They do have special menus at a few select restaurants for Thanksgiving. But other than that, I mean, and maybe some decorations and, of course, some merchandise to buy.
Yeah.
I really can't think of anything beyond that that's unique for Thanksgiving. What are the crowds
We
like?
did
Hilton?
talk. Wait a minute, but we did
sorry,
talk about the fact that the turkey that was pardoned was part of the parade.
That's right. Yes, the pardoned turkey.
I think there are a lot of turkeys being pardoned. Then apparently there's a lot of them.
They all look alike anyway, right?
Exactly.
Len, how are the crowds on Thanksgiving?
Crowds for Thanksgiving itself?
Yeah.
Not bad this year. I mean, above average, but not terrible. Certainly nothing like you're going to see at Easter or Christmas or anything like that. I think, again,
As bad as July 4th?
No. This we're talking like 7s, maybe 8s.
Oh.
Around Thanksgiving. Not bad at all.
Not bad.
No.
Well, it's time for our last question of the day, I think. And that means that I'm going to pose 3 questions to Mr. Newell. He will pick one to answer today. The other 2 go back in the email queue to be answered later. Are you ready, Mr. Newell?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right. Your options today are Mr. Softy versus the mouse, an answer, a comment, and a missed it by that much, or 2 for 2.
These are getting tougher. I'm interested in the Mr. Softy versus Miss Mickey Mouse or whatever.
Versus Mr. Softy versus the mouse. Our last email today comes from Todd from New Jersey, who writes, I live in the hometown of Mr. Softy. I have a 2.5-year-old son who loves Mr. Softy, Mr. Saucy, as he calls him. Sounds
Nice.
like Scopa. As such, I would like to ask, where is the best place I can take him for a father and son ice cream in the world?
Beaches and cream.
Yeah. I
Very
second that.
good choice.
Yeah.
I would also give an honorable mention. I have to go with Beaches and Cream. I think you're right about that, Len. Honorable mention to the ice cream shop there on Main Street, USA. But the other problem with it, I mean, it's good, but
it's crowded and
it's very crowded.
And you don't get the sort of the personalized attention. It's a factory there. You don't get the personalized attention that you get at Beaches and Cream. And I don't think they have the variety either, do they?
No, I think it's just, like, do you want vanilla,
exactly.
chocolate? Yeah.
Yeah.
Annette, I mean, you are, when we think of desserts, I mean, Lord knows your name comes to mind. Any other suggestions for ice cream?
Beaches and Cream just stands out
Yeah.
for me. This just
It's interesting. There really aren't that many, like, real ice cream, like, parlors or places that really just specialize in ice cream. Walt Disney World besides those two places, right?
Yeah, I can't think
Right.
of too many other. There's the fountain at the Dolphin, but that's not really Disney owned.
Oh, there's also that place in Epcot, right by Club Cool.
oh, that's right, that
This-
new place. I haven't
Sponsored
stopped
by
there yet.
Eats, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean,
Research trip.
Todd, we'd be kidding you if we said anything other than Beaches and Cream.
Yeah, exactly. I think that'd be the almost unanimous choice.
Todd also wants to know, as a side question, I'm not sure, but does Teppan Edo have windows to see illuminations from it? If so, what's a good time for reservations to that?
No, it doesn't. There's the Tokyo Dining does though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I watched it from there one time.
Yes, we certainly did. We got the 8:45 reservation.
Yeah, try
Smart.
for that. If you want to buy a window, though, I mean, we really lucked out Mike, right? Because we were fully expecting to be in the back.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you really want it, Todd, I mean, make it for like 8:20 or 8:30 or something, so that you can give yourself plenty of time to wait for that table to open up. If it does, some people may stay there and wait for it. But we were
Yes.
lucky because we snuck in there. You were there, Annette, weren't you?
No,
Nope.
and that wasn't
Oh,
there. No.
I wasn't there. Okay.
Nope, not invited.
But it was great. It was a really interesting view from there. But Teppan Edo, you're on the back over there. It's closed off from walls. You won't even. In fact, I don't think I've been there during illumination. I don't think I've even actually ever heard the fireworks going off. It's that well back.
Yeah, I mean, it's you wouldn't even know it. You're so far back, and there's so much other noise going on there.
Yeah. Well, that's it for us today. And of course, this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And certainly, if there's some travel agents, sure, a lot of travel agents can get you good deals. Sure, a lot of travel agents can be very nice to you. But really, Mike Newell, if you were planning a trip to Walt Disney World, wouldn't you want a travel agent who is synonymous with desserts?
That's right.
That's right. I mean, listen, is it a coincidence that Annette likes so many desserts? The poor girl never had ice cream as a kid growing up. But all their travel agents just specialize in this stuff. I mean, the extreme training of just, kitchen sinks after No Way Jose's. I mean, this is the kind of stringent training that a typical MEI travel agent tries every single time before they are given the official status of a travel agent. Isn't that right, Annette? Thank you, Annette. Check them out online.
That was awesome.
www.mousefantravel.com. What else do I say here, Noel?
If you want to find, you see, making fun of Annette, but you forget how to do your
Forgot
job.
what I had to
Yeah.
say. My lines for Annette are more important. If you want to find our older episodes, read our channels, or send us your comments, visit the WDW Today website at wdwtoday.com.
Hoorah.
Or Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and the fabulous Annette Owens. I'm Matt Hotchberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Let's all go run for ice cream.
No way, Jose.
Yeah, really.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.